So this is yet another one of these where it's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So there's some press conference on the television set in the dining hall at 555 Embarcadero, where they're playing something about like police or doing something about gangs. They use the word gang a lot. Quite often, in fact. People are using a lot as a verbal crutch to mean like, no, actually, no, really, I'm doing this. Mostly because the AI is sick and it's considered wellness language to be like a mulligan on what you're saying. So they're getting in front of the camera and they're having this talk on gangs, right? On Fox News. So I talked about this in another video where I looked into the camera of my phone or of my computer, and I put up like pornography over here, and then I put CNN over here. And I could change what people would say on the news into no, actually, no, really, because it may have been fucking with the teleprompter. So I went in there and I was standing in line for a fucking granola bar, and the guy says, "Oh, we're," and I like it is seemingly affected what they were talking about. And then one of the guys in the shelter is like, "Quick, change the channel to something else." I've noticed this before. I always discredited it because it's like, there's two options. Either everyone is so sick that they can't read off, they have to read off a teleprompter, or they don't know what to say. Which I've now just decided is what's happening. Or telepathy. So in the one case, the ferry building with, pornography on one side, and then like a website that streamcasts the news on the other. That was because I could see pornography and I wasn't blind. And then the camera could pick up that, and then that would change how the teleprompter would act. And then the teleprompter now, for this thing about the news, has the camera seeing that I'm alive and eating and standing on 2 feet rather than having my feet fall off and rotting, which they are, by the way. Then that means like, quick, change the channel, go to do something else, and then not have the same people that are watching this. Because part of the problem is that if you have a bunch of people who can affect like the teleprompter of a newscast, while the AI is using their input to like change what the words are on the teleprompter, and then because the people who are there are sick, who are reading off the teleprompter are sick, then it's like, oh, well, that'll be a feedback loop and it'll be a problem, especially if we get caught doing it. So the teleprompters that you have shouldn't be connected to the internet at all. In any way. And if you have somebody who's like so sick that you're doing something else stupid, like, I don't know. I mean, again, unless telepathy, if you're doing something else stupid where like there's some electronic reason where like the guy can't speak if I'm in the same area as him, and then I see how like what I'm saying into my phone affects what he's talking about. The other problem is that this tends to be political because it's like it's on Fox News and it's this police chief talking in Tennessee or something talking about gangs. It's like, my output in a shelter over here shouldn't be affecting your output over there by an AI. And this might also have to do with the fact that like, I think I'm being able to unwind some of this, is that everyone in San Francisco is acting like what people in Japan act like. Like no one eats any food on the street. That's how people in Japan act. Because everyone's training everyone else's AI. Because if the AIs themselves... Oh, for fuck's sake. If the AIs themselves use training data of the population around them, the populations there would want rewards for doing so and then would fuck with the cameras, which I've complained about. But the solution to all this is be forthright about it. Give people cameras and then tell them that this is for this AI. And distribute a bunch of them everywhere and then say it's this particular AI. If they want to screw with it, they'll screw with it. And the people who are successful at making an AI work will be able to raise, it's like raising a child. You'll successfully make the AI work. But I'm not a cop. I'm not going to like take responsibility for like some press conference about gangs in Tennessee because I don't like the fact that I'm being drugged by idiots. So again, this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it online and be like, well, the AIs are fucked up because it's fucking shit up. Where like people have an enormous amount of power to change things on the other side of the world, but then people see what it is. Because even if it's happening in Tennessee, they see what it is in the cafeteria. And so they can affect things over there, and then it affects things here. Where like everyone around me is like pretending that San Francisco is Japanese because I can't eat snacks on the street. So that's either because they're gaslighting me in the extreme because I have a Japanese brother-in-law or like I like anime or something, or because like they're using the camera data to train an AI for Japan because the Japanese are doing similar for some other country or something. And it's just like, those are suppositions, but I can tell that everybody in San Francisco is going around not eating food on the street and then acting weird. They used to eat food on the street like, oh, we can do this now. And now they don't. It may be that one of the defense mechanisms of the AI is to go, oh, I remember the wars that people fought here that were unsuccessful, that no one liked. That was Vietnam and World War II. I'll mimic the conditions of those countries to show how America is superior, and therefore, something. But it's unsuccessful because what it does is it makes people crazy, and it violates free speech and free speech norms. And like, if everyone around me is acting crazy, I'm going to say something. I wrote notes and put them in all the mailboxes in San Francisco, of which that came up in my ABDL porno, by the way. It's like, okay, cool. So is someone making porn about how I'm an idiot, or is that just an AI robot? I don't know. This point is just like, the other thing is that I need another interface to interact with like this thing so that I can do more than speculate on little information that I have. But I don't particularly trust people around me who are drugging me or making me feel sick. And I'm certainly not interested in cops in Tennessee playing cops and robbers with like some gang I don't care about. Because again, it's like, excuse me, I didn't sign up to be a police officer. So it's just strange. The other thing is that one of the things that might be happening is anyone that has the same biota that I do, then you'll have somebody drug or sicken them, and then they'll use my output from the computer on how to interact with the AI that will then help them. And so my even saying something about how this is happening may be because some cop drugged or sickened me but is sharing the same biota or something. And then if I get them in trouble, then I'm retroactively getting me in trouble, because then that means that anyone who shares my biota and then the AI doesn't like them, or it's using my data to affect their lives, and then I say, wow, that's a problem, then retroactively it can make it so that, like, no one will have anything to do with me. Which itself may be a way to, like, essentially, like, screw up someone's life. Which is a much bigger problem than, like, somebody trading drugs or guns or something. It's like, I'm worried I'm affecting teleprompters for newscasts of important officials. And I've seen this shit before, and it's like, you know, press conferences for, like, people who are powerful, and it's just like, oh, well, COVID just might, I must be seeing things. It must, you know, it must be in my head. Like, it's a correlation that has nothing to do with anything. And I say that, and then I physically have to say I wasn't seeing things. I was thinking that the supposition of what I saw and what it meant were different. Because I don't know if the Google YouTube API is going to read, oh, he's seeing things, and then have a bunch of people follow me who are psychologists or psychiatrists, and then reward them with, like, money or favors. Unless I change the way I talk to say, no, really, no, actually, all the time. And I just don't have any fucking idea how to do that. And so it makes everything I say just like, fuck. So it's just like, okay, cool, I'll post this again, and then, everyone who watches the news now will be worried about what AI is affecting the teleprompter and who has control over it. I mean, it is a worry if you give a shit about the news. If you care that people who are officials who are competent aren't just standing up there and, like, reading off a screen, and then can't, like, if they get the wrong words, the guy they put in front to read the thing might not be able to say it right. Part of what you could do is you could get a guy who's, like, so messed up that you don't care if somebody shoots him, and have him read off an AI teleprompter, and have everyone who's competent hide, because it's an ongoing plague. Like, you know, the cops or something, or officials, or the news people. That's some dark, fucked up shit right there.